This is a demonstration on how to assemble a Molecule Works MEMX cell. Each MEMX cell will come with the following parts: 8 socket head screws, 1 15/32 Allen wrench, 2 alignment pins, a feed plate, a sweep plate, 4 NPT connector pieces, an outer O-ring, and an inner gasket. Place the outer sealing O-ring into the outer groove provided in the sweep plate. I have 2 examples of Molecule Works products here with me today. Make sure to always wear gloves when handling the membranes. The first is a zeolite membrane. The darker olive green side has a zeolite coating. The other side is Molecule Works porous nickel membrane. The second product is a porous nickel membrane, which is what I will be loading into the MEMX cell today. Do not use any sharp objects such as tweezers when loading the cell to avoid damaging the membranes. Always handle the sheet with care to avoid introducing any defects that may later affect performance. Place the membrane in the cavity of the sweep side of the cell. Place your inner gasket on top of the membrane, ensure that it is lined up with the edges of the well. Insert your alignment pins. Line up the feed side of the cell using the alignment pins. Slide down onto the sweep side without disturbing membrane or gasket. Place the 8 socket head screws into the feed side of the cell. Rotate until each one is finger tight in an alternating pattern to distribute stress evenly around the cell. When each screw is finger tight, tighten in the same pattern using the provided Allen wrench 1/4 turn at a time until resistance is felt and the outer O-ring is adequately compressed. Once the cell is assembled, insert each of the 4 connector pieces into the 4 ports of the cell. Tighten adequately. Your MEMX cell is now fully assembled. Typically, during your application, process fluid will enter and exit the feed side of the cell. Depending on the application, the sweep side may be open to ambient air, connected to a vacuum pump, or have fluid flowing through it. I will now demonstrate how to connect a process line to the cell. Loosen the nut several turns so that it is still attached to the threads, but is able to turn freely. The nut comes with a pre-inserted sleeve. Avoid removing the sleeve from the nut. This ensures that the tube remains properly aligned. Insert a firm 1/4-inch tube into the nut and push until it is seated in place. Tighten the nut to secure the tubing. Repeat this process for all 4 connectors. For some applications, it may be necessary to apply additional silicone support beams to the feed side of the cell. Here's an example with the support beams in place.